Okay, so I'm feeling super ambitious, and I'm gonna try my hand at a no-knead bread. So I found this recipe online, I'll link it below. Basically, it's 3.5 cups of flour, some salt, some instant yeast, and just now we add water. And the guy says just keep adding water. Add water mixed with a fork until the flour is moistened and forms a ragged dough mass. And then we cover it and let it rest for 8 to 12 hours on the counter at room temperature. And then we bake it off tomorrow in a Dutch oven. Let's see here, see how this goes. And he said to use cold water, which seems odd to me considering we're using yeast. But he said it will just self-hydrate. And he just used a fork, so that's what I'm using. Trying not to make a huge mess. It did look like quite a wet dough, so I don't know, maybe I'm gonna need to add more water. Now it's looking like the consistency of what he had. Okay, well this still seems a little bit wet to me, but the guy says you really can't mess it up. So I've got it covered, and now I'm gonna sit it on my counter and overnight and bake it off, and hopefully it'll turn out yummy.
The next day.
An hour before baking, fold the dough on itself 6 to 12 times. Wow. Hope this turns out. So as you can see, the dough was quite wet and sticky, which I wasn't too concerned about because I wanted a moist bread. As I started to work the dough, folding it per the instructions, you can see how it naturally started to deflate. So I just kept folding, like the recipe said, trying not to work it too much. So once I was done folding, the recipe said to pour the dough into another bowl that's been lightly dusted with flour. So that's what I'm doing here, and as you can see, it's losing even more air as I'm doing that. Now I'm lightly dusting the top with flour because I'm going to need to cover it and let it sit for 45 minutes for another rise. So the recipe recommended that you preheat the Dutch oven. So I put it in the oven about 20 minutes or so before baking. I think this is to help ensure that the bread gets a nice crispy crust. Now I'm pouring the dough into the pot. And as you can see, it's still very elasticy and sticky. So I'm kind of just helping it along. And then you put the lid on, and I'm going to stick it back in the oven. I have the bread in the oven. Hopefully it turns out yummy. Check out our bread. It turned out really good. It's got a good flavor, a nice crunch. Very tasty. It's gonna be great to have with dinner this week.